Here we go, gentlemen. So I will do the same thing that I did with the last couple of people I just podcasted with. So I have Monty and Jake here, but when I have more than one person on the podcast, I'll just let you guys introduce yourselves, so that way everybody can put a name with a voice, right?
Okay.
For the listeners.
Sounds
right?
good.
All right, cool. So Monty, we'll start with you, sir.
Okay, my name is Monty Sowersby. I am the president of Ozarks Quality Products, and I'm a rep for Infused Edibles out of Morongo, California.
Monty's a good guy too. This is Jacob Coleman. Today I'm here with Enlightened Life. We're going to cover all the cannabis media from Missouri.
Yeah, Jacob. All right, my friend. And Jake, you've been on the podcast before.
For sure.
Cousin, family. All right, Monty. Hey, dude, thank you so much for inviting us down to your workshop here and into your home.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad to have you guys. It's always happy to have fellow Missourians come and visit and see this part of the Missouri Ozarks and come and see what it's all about and talk a little bit about cannabis and what's going on today. It's all exciting. Everything's really exciting now.
Yeah, dude, it's real exciting times, and for the listeners, we all met at you and I, we not us, but we met at the MoCan BizCon conference recently here in St. Louis, Missouri, or not here, but in St. Louis, Missouri at Union Station, and you were there with Infused Edibles, right?
Right. We had a booth. I'm glad to say that we raised $3,988 for the disabled American veterans.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So all of our proceeds from that event went to the disabled American veterans. We kept nothing. We did the whole thing as a donation. Again, and that's what part of Amendment 2 is about, is the veterans. And we wanted to put that positive spin on it, hey, we're here for our veterans. And that's what we did.
Yeah, and man, it's important for people to be there for them because they really need the help the most. You know what I mean, dude? Like, I sometimes not sometimes, but I often see the number of veterans who just don't get the support that they need, and it's really cool to think about how much we can actually help those people with the changes.
And we've got to remember, if it wasn't for our veterans, we wouldn't have our freedoms that we enjoy today. We wouldn't be able to go in and vote for Amendment 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the people that's laid down their lives, generations before us that have given us our freedoms to be able to do this, and we have to respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're a veteran.
Yes, I am. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I have bladder cancer from Camp Lejeune drinking water.
Oh,
wow.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, thank you for your service.
Well,
it
you're
seems
welcome.
to have cost you quite a bit.
It did. Sometimes your service does cost a lot, mentally, physically, and we bear that burden. Gratefully. I'm just grateful to have served, and I'm glad that the government's taking care of me now too.
Yeah. You said you're in the Marines, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, how long were you in the Marines for?
I was in for years and years and years. I was always in aviation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, dude, and we were talking a little bit beforehand. You said you went to Jamaica for the first time, right?
The first time I went to Jamaica was right after Bob Marley died, and our aircraft carrier pulled in. I was on a Caribbean cruise, and I went on Liberty there, and I was just
Liberty.
like, if I ever can come back to this place, I'm coming back to this place.
Yeah. What was it like there during that time?
It was really traumatic because Bob Marley had just died, and it was like the people were traumatized. Really seriously traumatized because of that event.
Yeah. Yeah, could you just feel it in the air?
Yes, you could. You could definitely feel it in the air. The sadness, the mourning, it was terrible.
Yeah. I imagine that's a trip that you never forget, right? Because it's such a powerful time in history.
Right. And I was very young at the time. I was only 20, 21 years old. So
yeah. Whoa, that's powerful, man. I can only imagine just what was going on. And you've been back how many times since you said?
About at least 20.
At least, right?
At least 20, yeah.
And that's probably conservative.
Yeah, it's very conservative. We love Jamaica. Me and my wife, we go there. We just love it.
Yeah.
I love the Jamaican people. I just love the attitude, the energy.
Yeah.
The weed.
Yeah, I still haven't been, man. I really want to go.
It's great. It's one of the, everyone needs to go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about the culture in Jamaica is what do you feel that lacks over here that they have over there that we could implement, especially with their cannabis culture?
They just have a real I don't know. They just like to share it. I don't know. It's just a different culture there. They have a lot of really good landrace breed sativa that's just really good. They're just really proud of it, and I mean, just about everyone smokes it too.
Do they do any like because we were talking about sport? Do they do any like cannabis beverages? Have you had any cannabis beverages over there? 'Cause
No,
there was a tea or
I've had
something.
cannabis. No, I've never had any cannabis drinks, but I have had like space cakes and things like that they've made. But
Yeah.
at one resort that we went to, the cook I was friends with, before we left, he took all the remaining weed and made this space cakes to eat on the way to the airport.
Oh,
It was
yeah?
great. Yeah.
How'd that have you feeling?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember very many flights home.
Yeah, I would have slept. I would have slept the entire flight, dude. It'd be cool to do an event there.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I want to go.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
yeah. You could
should.
probably
Let's
organize
do
one.
it.
You could organize one there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you have to know some people there at this point, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's the best place to go to, or is there a best place? I hate that question, right? What's the best? because there's
every
so many
place-
good places usually.
I like to get away from the airport. The main airports are in Kingston and Montego Bay, and I like to get away from there. I like to go to Negril, which is about 90 kilometers to the west, or Ochos Rios, or
Okay, yeah, you're damn
you know,
near a local now.
yeah, yeah, a
Yeah.
Jamaican.
Yeah, is that what they call Jamaican?
Yeah, a Jamaican.
I love it. I love it. So, like, what's the thing to do in Jamaica?
Oh, I don't know. The beach is just so awesome there. The food's really good. The fishing. There's just so many sports there. It's just fantastic.
I heard something about though, like there's like dangerous spots. Like is it
There,
like a
there
very
are some very dangerous spots. The people that we go with, the people that I know there, kind of avoid those areas and are like, hey, we need to be careful in this area, or hey, we're not going there.
Yeah, there's those spots everywhere, though,
Yeah,
right? I
for
mean,
sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, even in St. Louis, I mean,
Of
there's
course.
places, East St. Louis, Illinois. I've had, I did a job there for Illinois Bell Telephone, and the excavation contractor had all of his equipment stolen one night, including the snow fence. So,
oh, they
I
took
mean,
everything.
so bad things can happen everywhere.
Yeah, you just
know.
gotta keep your head on the swivel. and
Right,
pay attention.
for
Exactly. But the good, honest Jamaicans, they're there. That's their life. They're on a tropical island. I just like it. It's just the fast-paced United States lifestyle does not exist there.
Yeah, just a totally different
It
speed
is.
of life.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's a totally different speed, totally different everything.
yeah. I would definitely like to kind of immerse myself in that culture for a little bit and kind of just see what
Well,
it's like.
It's nice to talk to Rasta man
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
really delve into the Rastafarian way. And
Now they're basically like they're vegetarians, right? The
Well,
Rastafarians. Or-
most of the Rastas that I've met, they will not eat pork and they will not drink alcohol. They will eat fish. Mostly it's fish and vegetables.
Yeah.
They do eat a little goat, a little chicken,
Yeah. But
So-
no pork, huh?
no pork.
Yeah. Is that just because like the swine, like it's just a dirty meat they think?
Well, I think it all goes back to, you've got to remember that the Rastafarian religion is basically an Abrahamic religion. That Haile Selassie is, I want to say it's the 10th generation removed from King Solomon.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of play there, historical facts and figures that I'm really not positive on. But yeah, you've got to remember that is an Abrahamic religion. So
Yeah. Yeah, but they keep it very natural. That's where it's at, right? Like
right,
just
right,
the
right,
earth.
right, exactly.
They seem like very minimalist too,
They
from
are.
what I see.
They are. They're not really about possessions or, they're just about trying to be, do things right.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie Fight Club?
No, I have not.
You haven't seen it? It's an older movie with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton.
Right.
And there's a great quote in there where Brad Pitt's character says, like, the things you own end up owning you. Just you just have a whole bunch of shit and it just ties you down.
Right.
True. Have you ever read Mel Fisher's book, The Trouble with Treasure?
No, I have not.
Very good book. Mel Fisher found the shipwreck Atocha, a very rich gold-laden, gem-laden, diamond-laden ship. And then all of a sudden he has all this money, and then he has all this trouble. the state of Florida files suit on him, the state of Spain or the nation of Spain files suit on him, insurance companies file suit on him.
What?
Yeah, and
Just
I mean
because he found this thing?
Yeah, and now he's found all these millions of dollars, and now he's got all this trouble. But he writes this book. It's called The Trouble with Treasure. So
So that really happened to him.
Yes.
And then he wrote this
Yes.
book about his experience.
Yes.
Called The Trouble with Treasure.
The Trouble
Got
with
it.
Treasure. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then all the people that come out of the woodwork that try to claim your treasure, and it's just.
It's like, damn, this was just out here, like
Yeah.
it was nobody's.
Nobody had found it for 400 years, and now all of a sudden I'm getting it stuck up my butt. You know what I'm saying?
Holy cow. So what was
That's
the
sad.
outcome for him?
He finally did win part of the treasure. He did win part
Did he
of the
get some
treasure
money,
back,
like-
and yeah, he got money, like a lot of millions and millions of dollars. But
Yeah.
again, the state of Florida got their fair share, and
Dude, if I found something like that, I
just
would.
keep your mouth shut.
Well, but how are you going to fence the actual, like, I mean, you got to turn the actual gold or whatever the find is in
and
the money.
And a gold doubloon is worth a lot more than its ounce weight in gold too.
Oh, because
Yeah.
of what it is.
Because
and
of
how
what it
old
is,
So you
right.
have to turn it into the proper people.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To get the
it's
value.
gonna be someone like, well, hey, how did Monty come up with 900 golden doubloons?
Yeah, man. So, but if I found that, I'm like, look, man, this is the number that I want, and you guys do whatever the fuck you need to do after this. I mean,
Right.
I mean, just give me a
Right.
small cut, man. Yeah. Oh man. So, so Rastas though. I mean, you like reggae. We were talking about reggae, dude. You want to play that song?
Yeah.
You should play it.
Do you want me to play it?
Yeah, play it.
All right.
Let's hear a song. So
Yeah.
Jake has a song.
Right on.
Dude, it's I love reggae music.
I do. I love Sizzla. I love Bob Marley. I don't know. I like Sizzla.
Yeah.
Do you like Gregory Isaacs?
Yes, I love Gregory
Barrington
Isaacs.
Levy?
Peter Todd.
Todd,
Or
yeah,
Tosh.
yeah.
Yes.
You like Collie Buds?
Yes.
Oh man.
Here you go. Here's
Shaggy.
Yeah. For you a little more. So, dude, just hold it. Don't make it too loud. Just hold it up to your mic.
Okay.
And we can all hear it. You hear it?
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a new one called Make Me Feel.
I'm homesick.
We'll just listen to this for a second.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it, man.
Man, that was
like
good.
that?
I like
Thank
that.
you,
I
man.
do. I really like. It makes me homesick.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll definitely send it to you, man.
I need to be eating a mango right now.
I can dig that. What's that called, Jake?
It's called Make Me Feel.
Make you
So
feel.
yeah, after I
Very
shot the Bob
good.
Marley concert down here, and it's really like I love the easy listening music, and a lot of people have been turned on to that song. They really like it.
Very good song.
Appreciate it.
Very
Hey,
good song.
Hey, refix your mic for me.
I'm back.
Yeah, there we go.
Back in action.
We're back in there. Yeah, man, I can dig it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Jacob, you rock, man. That's
Thank
good.
you, man.
I'm really impressed by that
Thank
song.
you. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, that's just good energy, man.
appreciate it, man. The video's going to be really cool. I want to kind of like do rent an Airbnb or something, or find somebody that has a really nice location. And what we'll do is like a pool or something, and just have everybody coming over, just hanging out, smiling, having a good time. But my initial thing is like, I want to like meet a girl. Let's say she's working at a bank behind the counter. I walk in with like a briefcase of money or something, and then she's like speaking to like an older lady or something, doing her job, and then she catches my eye. And then once I get up to the counter, what I want to do is have like, there's going to be like 10 people. It's just a flash mob, like young and old. Everybody's just going to start dancing to impress this girl, and it's going to click to the Airbnb. Everybody from the bank is there just having fun at the Airbnb. It'd be cool.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the vision.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, dude, that'd be good. When are you gonna do that?
I'm trying to do it when it gets warm, because I actually have a model from down here, she's in Springfield, that I'm going to
Yeah.
Right.
get up. Yeah. So
Right on.
hopefully I'm shooting for like maybe next month probably.
Yeah.
Got to get all the vision together and find the right location is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Location.
Yep.
Yeah, that's everything, man.
Yeah.
But that's just good energy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
good
appreciate it.
vibes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, obviously, I feel like there are certain moments in life that just leave a very like big impact on you, and it sounds like that first trip to Jamaica was a very like life impacting experience for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that kind of one of those things that also drove you to like, because the cannabis industry isn't your original industry?
No. I
It's,
smoked marijuana the first time in 1971 when I was 11 years old.
oh shit.
Yeah. So
What was it? A joint? What'd you do? A bowl? What was it?
it was a joint, actually. Back in those days, they didn't even know what bud was. You know what I'm saying? They just grew the plant, and we smoked leaves basically
Yeah.
for the longest time. I mean, and then finally, we started learning, like let it go farther and things like that. But
Yeah, and the strains weren't very strong.
No. Not back in those days.
No. Yeah, it's a whole new ballpark.
It's
now.
a whole new ballpark now.
Yeah. Okay, so then you had that early experience, and then has it just kind of always been one of those things that's been in your life?
It's always been in my life.
Yeah.
In the military, I did have to stop
Yeah.
because they implemented drug testing. And
Yeah.
I felt that was very unfair. And we lost a lot of good people that their only crime is they smoked marijuana.
Yeah.
They were good crew chiefs, they were good flight engineers, they were good mechanics, and they lost their jobs. They were kicked out of the military because they smoked marijuana.
I hate that shit, man. You see that in all areas of life, right? It's like this thing that helps you.
You're right. Right. And now they prescribe it to you. Like the veterans, Amendment 2 was about the veterans,
Yeah,
it's
but active military,
they can't, yeah,
they still
exactly.
can't, you know what I mean? Like they're using things like what's that medication that helps people sleep?
Ambien.
Yeah, they're using Ambien to sleep, right?
Yeah, and combat alertness tablets, and
things, and these don't help you sleep. I mean, they make you go unconscious, but like you're not getting any of the benefits.
Any REM
of sleep,
right?
Yeah, you're
right,
getting none
right.
of it. So
and then
like,
you wake up on the Home Shopping Network, and you wonder why you ordered 1,000,
People-
water filters.
people do that shit.
I know.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine that did that on Ambien.
Oh,
actually,
really?
yeah.
That's crazy.
The guy went out he's like, why did we order 20 water filters, from
It had-
Amazon,
it had no
QVC.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing the one-click shopping on Amazon, it just makes
Right.
makes it too easy.
Yeah.
You just pull that thing up and just boom,
Bam.
whatever you want.
Bam.
Yeah, so it just ends up causing more problems at the end of the day, these things. And it's sad. And like you talked about earlier, it's sad that alcohol is so prevalent. Like, you explained earlier that, you can smoke a joint, especially these people that are, highly stressed, Smoking a joint would help them, but they go to alcohol, as you said, and they're drunk
Right.
half the day.
Right.
That's a poison. That's hard on the body.
The thing I saw in the military, these military, these guys were basically persecuted because they smoked marijuana, but yet, the maintenance chiefs would be out in the parking lot at 4 o'clock in the morning drinking Green Label Jack Daniels, but
Yeah.
that was okay.
right.
That was okay.
That's socially acceptable.
Yeah, that was socially acceptable,
Because it's legal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what always gets me, because there's been, thankfully we're at a better place, and we're getting to a better place. But
Yes.
for years and years, there's just been so much misinformation and just flat out lies and propaganda that's just been spread about it.
Exactly.
And
Well, the first drug czar was Elvis Presley, the man who overdosed and died.
but he overdosed on what?
On pills.
Yeah.
But he was the first drug czar that Richard Nixon enacted in 1971 or 72.
Yeah, man, Richard Nixon. See, that's what kills me about Richard Nixon, especially in the times that we are today. And I don't want to get like super political, but like it's kind of relevant, right? So, fucking Nixon, like he wasn't. Is it Nixon? Wasn't Nixon an actor? Was it Nixon?
No, that was Reagan.
Reagan. All right, Reagan. Reagan was an actor. I'm like, Reagan was a fucking. But Reagan was also a part of like the war on drugs, right?
Yes. Oh, the way it went, it started. The prosecutions kind of started in the early 70s, right at the end of the Vietnam War.
From like a political stance,
Right.
right? Because
And
we had like.
The problem was the protesters, the people that were protesting the war, smoked marijuana. So,
Right.
what a better way to prosecute the prosecutors? The people that were protesting the war, than to prosecute them for marijuana offenses.
Oh yeah,
You
it tends to be
see what I'm
younger
saying?
people and
So
hippies
it kind of started with the hippies,
and people
then
of color, and it's
and
like,
then
that's
all
what
of a sudden Jimmy Carter got into office, and all that kind of backed way off in about 76.
yeah.
And it was pretty liberal. And then 1980, Ronald Reagan came into office, and then he started as just saying no.
Dude, that kills me, dude. And you know what? He wasn't a politician.
Yeah,
He was just
an actor.
He was just an actor. Like
Yeah.
people forget about
Isn't that crazy how
It's-
that happens? Wasn't there a guy though that like came to Reagan? I can't remember. I was watching something about it. Like that he was in the industrial textile industry, and he saw that hemp was gonna.
Now this is
What was his name?
This is before this, right? So now but from my understanding, even before like this, so there was William Randolph Hearst.
There it is.
Right.
And right, and there's Harry Anslinger, right?
Yeah.
He partnered with Harry
Anslinger, that's it,
Anslinger.
yeah.
Which Harry Anslinger was a
Yep,
cop,
that's
but
it.
there was the machine called the corticator,
Yeah.
which helped the processing of hemp. It made it
Right.
so much cheaper and
Yeah.
easier. But William Randolph Hearst had all of this stock in paper, and he had all of this huge plots of land with trees, right? He had lumber. He had all this money just in the lumber. So then that's when all the propaganda starts, right? They start calling it marijuana, right? Which is because it's like just Mexican like weed that
Yeah.
people smoke,
Right.
and
It's
it
the
makes
reefer madness, man.
them crazy and violent, and they're going to rape
Well,
your women. And
Adam, yourself, you're from the Jefferson City area along the Missouri River. Marijuana grows wild because of Hemp for Victory.
really,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, where are we going?
It's just hemp. It's not
Right.
marijuana, but it grows. The Battle of Lexington during the Civil War was called the Battle of the Hemp Bales.
Really?
Yeah, and they used hemp as fortifications.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
could you imagine if they heated up the cannonballs and shot them at that?
And what
It could have been a
like.
total different outcome. It could have been like the first Woodstock, almost.
Yeah.
But, hemp has a long history in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And during World War II, they had Hemp for Victory. Most of the hemp produced, was purchased in the Philippines, and the Philippines was lost to the Japanese in 1942. So they couldn't get hemp anymore, marijuana, to make rope and things like that. So they started a program called Hemp for Victory.
Right.
And all along the Missouri River, it still grows wild there today. And a lot of the statistics that you see where they say, "Oh, we've confiscated 1,000 marijuana plants today," a lot of what you see are they're picking wild marijuana plants along the Missouri River.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because now that you say that, like I do remember like reading at some point like there was like a war effort, because there's always a war effort, right, to fund
Right.
the war, and,
Right.
and it was hemp at one point, because hemp was like it was a very strong crop for
Right.
for Missouri,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Missouri in particular, but the United States in general.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
we have like this like one of the best climates, and just like the soil is really good for it.
Canvas, canvas,
Mm-hmm.
original name was derived from the word cannabis, because they took the fiber to make the canvas out of cannabis.
Oh.
I know that's not a very well known, but like sailing ships, we never got across the pond, if it hadn't been for hemp. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know if it was Thomas Jefferson or maybe, probably both, actually, because I've written a couple papers on cannabis, like,
Right.
whenever I was in grad school.
Right.
And I think even maybe George Washington said it, but, like, there's a couple quotes from a couple of those guys just talking about, like, how important cannabis is, or,
Right.
you know, hemp is to, like, just the infrastructure of the country.
Well, you know, one of the taxes that the British imposed upon the colonists was they had to have 2 pounds of crimped hemp per year, processed crimped hemp per year per family member.
Yeah.
You know, and they had hemp crimping machines. You know, during, you know, this was in the 1700s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, hemp was it goes way back, way back. It just as important as it is today, as not only it can be used commercially. You know, we see things like hempcrete coming out,
Yeah.
a very, very strong
saw that.
product. You know, I mean,
Oh, my goodness.
it's amazing some of the structural characteristics that hempcrete has. The fibers that we're getting from it, you know, and it's all renewable.
Yeah.
We're not cutting down trees. We're raising
Yep.
we're raising it in, you know,
It grows in a
farm.
fraction of the time.
Right,
In
exactly.
a fraction of the
Of
fraction
course.
of the amount of space.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it actually like revitalizes the nutrients of the soil.
You know, there's been a lot of tests done about the use of marijuana in like toxic landfills, where they've been using hemp to kind of bring the soil back. And I know there was a big study done in the Chicago area at some of the old closed down steel plants that was, I thought it was quite impressive, the change that had happened in the soil over the amount of time that they had been growing hemp there.
Yeah. I mean, dude, nature knows how to fix itself.
Yes.
Exactly.
It really does.
Man knows how to contaminate it. Nature knows how
Right.
to fix it.
Yeah, so I have two things. So one, I don't know why I'm drawing the blank. What the fuck is, I don't want to call it the Bill of Rights, or is it the Constitution, or what did they write? What,
You talking about the
you know, that thing that they stole?
amendments?
Yeah, what's that thing that they stole in National Treasure?
The
The
Constitution
Constitution, yeah.
Is that what it's called? It's called the Constitution.
was written on hemp paper.
Written on hemp paper.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Right. Yeah. And then my second thought was, so you guys remember that oil BP spill, right?
Yeah.
You know, like if they would have left that alone, that like the ocean would have like fixed itself way faster than it actually did, because we went in, we put all those chemicals in there, and like we tried to help. But my point to saying that is like nature knows how to fix
Yeah.
itself.
Well, oil is from nature.
Exactly.
You know, it's a natural product.
There's an oil spill at the bottom of the ocean all the time from just like
Exactly.
natural vents and different things.
Exactly. You know, oil is a natural product. It comes from nature. It's not a foreign product.
Yeah.
It's when we try to make it a foreign product, that's when it becomes a product.
Yeah, just like
You know,
cannabis.
it seems like so much we see people let their education override their intelligence.
Right. It's like,
You know?
Oh,
it's
for
like
sure.
You know?
you see that a lot of times with. I mean, I'm a big fan of the science,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes like why can't anecdotal evidence be enough?
Exactly.
You know, if it's like enough people are getting this experience, you know what I mean? It's like if you just use a little common sense, it would probably tell you like maybe that is good or is not good. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just blows me away.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't know if you guys were gonna say something. I'll keep it going. Don't worry, guys. So, so you're now the number one distributor for infused edibles.
Yeah, we're a major distributor for infused edibles in the chain. We're a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
Our stock ticker is GCGX. It includes another company, Indulge Oils, involved in that process too. We manufacture CBD for the United States there in California, and then we also manufacture THC there in California.
Yeah.
THC edibles
Yeah.
for the recreational and medical market. We hope to do the same thing for the medical market here in Missouri.
Yeah, man. I think it's so important for patients to be able to have access to the medicine, and like in different forms too, right?
Right.
Because, I mean, intuitively, like smoking probably isn't the best, but I don't think there's been any harmful effects shown from smoking cannabis.
No, I don't think so either. I want access to my medicine too.
Yeah.
I'd like to use it in the treatment of my cancer.
Yeah, that's right. You
Of
mentioned
course.
you have cancer.
You know?
Of course.
Yeah, I don't want to gloss over that, right? I mean, what kind of benefits have you experienced, you know,
Well,
from your use and
I'll tell you, it's kind of funny. When we first started in this process of starting the business of Ozark Quality Products, I didn't know I had cancer. I hadn't been diagnosed with the problem. we made an investment to find out if it worked or not because I didn't want to be a snake oil salesman. I wanted to make sure that this product worked, that it was going to be good and beneficial for people. I found out very quickly that, wow, hey, this stuff really works, you know.
It almost sounds too good to be true when you explain it too, right?
I know, exactly, you know. The thing about it, the science, the road that we've been down to get to this point has been a long, arduous road. You know, I know that Chris worked very, very, very hard to get the science. He's a culinary chef, so he understands chemistry. He understands food, taste, the palate, in developing our products and getting them right and getting the science down. So we've gone through a long, arduous road to get to this point.
And real quick, tell the listeners who Chris is.
Chris is the CEO of Infused Edibles.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's my adopted son also.
Yeah, what's his last name?
His name is Cross. Last name is Cross.
Chris Cross.
Chris Cross, yeah.
Chris
Go ahead,
Cross.
jump.
Catchy.
When he says jump, we all jump. So.
And sorry to interrupt you. What were you saying?
Lost my train of thought.
Fuck
Chris
you.
Cross. Oh, anyway, shortly after we started the business and we
Yeah.
proved to ourselves we started selling, I got diagnosed.
Okay.
Wow.
It stems from drinking water that I consumed while at New River Air Station in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Our water was contaminated by TCE, PCE from a dry cleaning plant that contaminated our drinking water.
Whoa.
And I was diagnosed with cancer. The thing that I've seen is
You're drinking water from when you're in the military.
yes.
At
yes.
where you're
At the
stationed,
military
at
base.
The base.
Yes, sir.
So how many people were
Over 500,000
We're contaminated.
contaminated. Plus,
Oh,
their
because
plus their
the
dependents.
entire base was contaminated.
Well,
Oh
think
my
about
gosh.
this. Not only the Marines,
Families.
the families, the contractors, the people, you know,
Everybody.
the secretaries, the people that worked in the commissary.
Because everyone's
any-
just drinking the tap water.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't
everyone
drink
was-
tap water for that reason.
Well, there you go. Good reason not to drink tap water.
Right.
you
But
just,
anyway,
you just never know.
exactly.
Holy cow! But anyway, so you found out.
I found out that I had cancer. I went through a series of surgeries. It was tumor removal, and I started hammering the CBD, and we went from tumor removal to, hey, there's no tumors. There's suspicious place.
So the tumors kept coming back.
They kept coming back. It was really weird. They just kept coming back, and then
How many surgeries did you have?
5.
Fuck.
Yeah, and then in the middle of it, I had an anterior aortic aneurysm.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. So
Yeah.
explain that for the listeners.
It's a swelling of the aortic artery below my stomach. And I had to have surgery. I was going to MD Anderson at the time, and I had surgery there at MD Anderson. So for that, and I also had several surgeries for the tumor removals. But anyway, the last time, there was no tumors. And it was like, there was a suspicious place, and it was still cancerous, but there wasn't any tumors.
Which is progress.
Well, that is very much progress, and I really attribute that to my use of CBD daily.
And how much were you? What was your dosage of CBD? Like how much were you
about
consuming?
75 to 100 milligrams a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have easy access to it, so
Now, from my understanding, from a lot of the studies, a lot of the studies so far, like, because we're so limited on the research, unfortunately, right?
right.
A lot of the studies, like especially like the ones done on mice and stuff like that, if you extrapolate out the dosage, like a lot of the benefits come from like 100 to 200 milligrams
Right,
of CBD.
right.
And it's even better when you pair like a high dose of CBD with a little bit of THC. It seems to have a better
I know
effect.
some of the doctors that we deal with, they're telling me that they're getting really good results from like fibromyalgia. What's the
Cerebral palsy?
Parkinson's
Oh, yeah.
disease. Like they're using like 300 to 400 milligrams a day.
Yeah, to like
And-
calm down that central nervous
And
system.
they're getting a really good result from that. So
Yeah.
that's really encouraging.
Dude, it's whenever I explain people, like I started talking about CBD because there are so many different compounds in the cannabis plant, right? We're just talking about one of the particular compounds, and
Right.
we're identifying them all the time.
Right.
But you start explaining this one, and it almost does sound like snake oil. You
I
know,
know.
because it's an adaptogen, right? So it helps the body find homeostasis. Like our body's always trying to find this place of center, and this can
Right.
help aid in that. But it helps do so many things, right? It's an anti-inflammatory. It can help with the brain. It
It's
can
an
help with,
analgesic.
Right.
yeah, it can
You
help
know?
with mood regulation. Like there's
Right.
just so many different things that it heals. It's just almost like, what is your issue? What are you deficient in?
Right.
And it can probably help with that. But when you start explaining that, it's like, how do you explain that without sounding phony?
Well, you know, and the thing about it is, whenever we started in the business, I made that initial investment to prove to myself, because if I don't prove to myself that it works, I'm not going to sell it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have any interest in it. But I really quickly proved that, wow, this stuff really works, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we had one of the first people, her name is Roberta. She has fibromyalgia, and she was taking between 3 to 5 hydrocodones a day. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 to 5 a day.
That's
Yeah.
And I said, Roberta, I said, man, try this. You know, try it.
Yeah.
I gave her a 1,000 milligram bottle, and she called me. This was on a Saturday, and she called me on a Thursday. She said, hey, I need to talk to you about that CBD stuff. I said, yeah. She goes, you know, I've taken 3 hydrocodones in 5 days. I go, really? She goes, twice. I think I took it because I'm used to taking
It's
it.
habit.
Yeah, because of habit. She goes, the one time she goes, I really needed it. We had moved boxes. She works at a large retail outlet. They had moved a lot of boxes. You know, she
in
had a
pain
pretty,
from
and
the
she
day.
was in pain. But she goes, you know, to go from 3 and 5 days from 3 to 5 a day, she goes, that's miraculous. You know, and she swears by it.
Yeah.
I mean, she takes it every day, just like I do.
Yeah. Have you used any? I've noticed a lot of people having success with topical
Right.
CBD. Do you have any? Do you like to do topically at all, or?
I don't use the topical. My mother-in-law uses our stick. We have a pain stick that she swears by. She calls it magic lotion.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously. She can rub it on her joints.
Yeah.
My mother is 94 years old, and she takes CBD. And she had arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis real bad.
Yeah.
And she hadn't written my aunt a letter. You know, her hands were crippled, and we came in and we sat down, and she goes, hey, I wanted to show you something. And she started moving her hands, and I was like, wow. And she goes, yeah, I can move my hands now. You
Yeah,
know?
I've had that
does
experience.
wonders,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I do jujitsu. Are you familiar with the
Yes. Oh,
sport?
yes.
Yeah. So I went. The first time I ever used a CBD topical was in Austin last year. I was at this jujitsu tournament, and I met this company, Jumbo Superfoods. They were at this conference, and I got their bomb. And like the next day after the tournament, my hands were so stiff, like I couldn't even bend my fingers. I put that on. Within like 5 or 10 minutes, dude, I could like move my hands, and
That's what I need.
they
then.
just felt so amazing.
It's amazing.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm gonna have, or if I do have like restless leg syndrome. It's not every day, but sometimes like late at night, like I have some real restless fucking legs.
Oof.
And like the other day, like I just lathered like my whole bottom half of my leg with CBD, and it felt so much better. And I use that like magnesium oil. I put that on my feet, and that's helped a lot. I don't know if it's just some sort of deficiency or what.
Well, a good night's sleep is very important.
Oh, it's vital.
You know, it is. It's vital to your health, your well-being.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, that's how I got into the business, and we started small. We proved to it that it worked.
What year was this?
This was in 2017.
20. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not been in it 2 years yet.
Yeah, still new in the game, and there's just still so much changing all the time.
What's nice is I work for a company that's been in business since 2012. So,
Yeah,
you know, Infused Edibles has been around for a while. Again,
and they're
you
based
know,
in California, right?
yeah, they're based out of California.
Now, are they? Do they send their? I would imagine so, but they're sending things to like a third-party laboratory for testing.
Yes. What we do is when
Explain
we
the
get
importance of that
okay,
for folks.
this is what we do. When we buy our hemp, our isolate, we get it from growers in Kentucky, Colorado, and Oregon. We bring it into our facility. It immediately goes out for testing to ensure that it has 0 THC in it. 0. When it comes back that it has 0, we use it in our process. When it goes through our process, like if we're running 25 milligram per unit apple rings, we lot test those apple rings to ensure that they have 25 milligrams of CBD and that they have no THC in them. Then they go for packaging. They're lotted out and packaged and sent out. That's how we do it.
So lot testing is like you have a whole lot and you just like you pick a batch out of that lot,
Right.
right? And you test those and
Right.
then so yeah, so it's getting there's testing multiple times long.
Multiple, yeah, and that's how we keep our quality control. Is we keep a real tight quality control on our product.
Yeah.
And that way, when someone calls us and says, "Hey, we know, oh, well, this lot may not be, we may have a problem with this lot number, as
Yeah.
far as like the packaging goes. We know there's no problem with the product as far as it being what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how we do it.
Yeah. So did you just kind of foresee like, all right, well, it's kind of close. The market's about to tip. You kind of saw where things were
Well,
going. Is that what kind of made you make that
once
jump into the industry?
once
or-
I found out, well, I've always wanted to be in the cannabis industry. We've just never had a cannabis industry.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean,
now's the time, now it's, now's the time.
yeah. I wonder if it's gonna go legal federally pretty soon.
I see it moving that way. It's not like the olden days,
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
got a new generation of people in there, and it's
Yeah.
definitely people are like you see all this evidence of like what all these other states are gaining from it. Not only the opioid epidemic, as we just talked about, but
Right.
also the budget crisis in a lot of these states is
Well,
completely being turned around.
I think the opiate epidemic could be turned around. I mean, I see a lot of the abuse that goes on. They're not able to get a product like marijuana.
Right.
It's like, why do the guys in the military abuse the Jack Daniels green label? It's because they couldn't smoke weed. Why did they snort the cocaine? Because they couldn't smoke weed. Why did they take ecstasy? Because they couldn't smoke weed.
Yeah, or I mean, another way to put it is like people just like to alter their consciousness. Like
Well, yeah, I mean,
people like to
And
get
it's been
fucked
like
up.
that. It's been like that since the beginning. If you look in the Bible, it talks in Genesis about, like Noah or, some of the old prophets drinking wine to excess and passing out in their tents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I think an altered
It's a human
conscious.
characteristic.
Yeah, it's just a character. It's just a character flaw. It's a human. It's being a human.
It's a human-
Is it a
human
flaw?
element.
Is it a flaw? I don't think it's a flaw.
I don't think it's a flaw.
I think it
it's
just
just a
is.
characteristic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You even see non-humans doing it though, right? I mean, even in animals, like, well, I mean, who's to say we aren't animals? But just like even in nature, like you'll see, like dolphins, they'll bite puffer fish
Right.
for the toxin to get high off of, and there's been evidence of them like passing around a puffer fish, like getting high. I mean, you'll see jaguars, like they'll eat certain plants and stuff because it gets them
Yeah.
high, and like you'll see
Well,
elephants drinking alcohol to get drunk, like.
Right. Well, the animal kingdom, they're smart. They know what makes you high and what makes you full, and
Yeah.
they know just like we do.
It's just like a natural drive.
Exactly.
We're just advanced animals. Real highly advanced animals, but we still
Yeah.
have heart, lungs, and hands. So
Yeah. I was telling Jake on the way down here, like, it's like, yeah, we're advanced, but sometimes I wonder how advanced are we? Is it just like our own perception that we think we're advanced?
Right.
And then like we're basically just plants. Like we need sun and water and air. Like
Right.
didn't I say something about our education exceeding our intelligence? Yeah.
Yeah. It happens so often, man. It happens so often. The more and more that I learn about just the benefits of nature, you know what I mean? Whether it's, just walking outside barefoot and getting grounded, or like cannabis, or are you familiar with kratom?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean,
Enough to know I don't want it.
why's that?
I don't know. I just heard too many negative things about it.
Oh, really? Like what?
I don't know. I've just heard too many negative things about it.
I've had a very positive
I've never
experience.
tried it myself.
Yeah, I like
like it?
kratom.
I've never tried it.
Never tried it.
Yeah, I like it. I've had a very positive experience.
I've never
with it.
tried. I've never tried it. I can't
Yeah.
say that
Well,
I've.
it's just a plant, but my point is, I mean, it's it does attach to the opioid receptor, so a lot of people have had it like success getting off of synthetic
Right.
opioids, and they've had a lot of success with it, like managing pain. I've experienced just like a lot of cognitive benefits, just like a mild sense of like heightened acuity and just like kind of like focus for me. But everybody's different. Everybody
Right,
has a
right.
different experience. But my point is like there's so much like knowledge like in plants, like it can help us. Like there's just,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? It's just like just being open and just
Well, think about it. Opium is a plant.
right. Well,
And I think it has its purpose.
absolutely.
I think it has its purpose. Now, fentanyl, no.
This is synthetics, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the synthetics. Something that's made in a bathtub in Mexico. are made by Pfizer, you know, in a bathtub in St. Louis. You know, they don't call it a bathtub; they call it a plant. You
Or
know?
what's that? Was it K2?
Yeah,
synthetic?
K2.
Synthetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard some bad. So I've seen some bad things happen to people
I have
on
too. I have too. I was a chief of a fire department. I saw some bad things happen on people with K2.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you could have just used the actual plant.
Yeah, smoking the actual marijuana, you know.
But
Instead
the
of,
reason why they used the K2 is because they were drug tested at work,
Yeah.
Right.
and they used the K2 because they couldn't come up positive on a drug test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it's and it's clearly not safe. I don't like when people use the argument of whether like cannabis is safe or healthy,
right. I agree.
because it is.
I agree.
Definitely. There's enough evidence out there.
Right.
to see
Well, I
that.
mean, you know, it's grown, you know, you can grow it in soil, you know. I mean, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a pill, it's a plant.
Yeah.
You know,
it
a
just
big
grows.
difference.
You don't have
It
to do
grows.
anything. You just-
Exactly.
yeah.
Put a little water, a little sunshine, and it grows.
As humans, we tend to hold on to these values, and it's very hard to let them go, especially if it's something we've been taught from like a very young age. Like most of us, are you from Missouri?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, right? So being from around here, it's preached very heavily. Like if you smoke, and the funny thing is, like a lot of people actually do cannabis, and they just don't talk about it.
Right, exactly.
And you know what I mean? But there's just like this public perception, like you're a doper, you're a loser.
I know a
or
lot of professional people
troublemaker.
in the industry of, you know, in major industries that you would never know that they smoke marijuana.
Yeah.
You know, that they smoke cannabis, you know.
Yeah.
They never let it out. You can't, you know, because again, it's been, you know, you're going to hell, you're going to hell,
What
you're
would
going to
people think?
hell.
Yeah, what would
Yeah.
people think, man?
You know.
Yeah, it just blows me away because there's just so much misinformation out there.
Oh, of course.
Exactly.
They have these deep-seated beliefs about something that they just don't really like. We're now knowing, we now have the science to prove like what we've known already kind of inherently, but these people still have these fears because they've been told their whole life that
Exactly.
this thing is, you know, true even though it's not.
Exactly. You know, and that's some of the things that, you know, we're doing now is we're breaking those misconceptions. You know, who would have ever thought whenever I was a 16-year-old kid that my mother would try CBD? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in 1976, that would have been a, you know, get out of my face.
Right.
You know, I can't believe you're,
Yeah, that's
you
just,
know,
that's just
again,
weed.
but, you know, ideas change, opinions change. You know, my generation was raised up, you know, we knew, you know, we smoked marijuana, you know, we smoked pot. You know, we saw, you know, the failed drug war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and we've seen that, oh, you know, this is a bunch of crap that they're trying to feed us, you know?
It's definitely a failed drug war. right?
Exactly.
Oh,
It's,
for
I
sure.
mean, when can you fight a war for 50 years and fail so miserably?
it's just wasted resources.
Exactly. You know, it would have been a lot better spent doing a whole lot other things with the money.
Yeah, you can't treat it as a criminal issue. I hate that we do that, right?
know.
We're just feeding this
Well,
huge
you know,
system.
now it's about the patient, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the patient get the medicine that they need.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to see the veterans that are having the opioid problem, because I'm telling you guys, I've had veterans break the fuck down right there, break the fuck down because the VA cut them off their opioids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude,
Yeah.
this is serious, you know. We've got to get people off these opioids. They're such a problem. And you know, they don't want to talk about it. They want to sugarcoat it, whatever, but it's a major problem.
Oh, it's a huge problem. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but like
The suicide rate?
Yeah, like well,
Yeah.
not the suicide rate, just the number of people that are losing their lives to like overdoses
Yeah.
on
Well,
prescribed opioids.
One thing that I've done, and you know, this is something that I'm going to admit to here to you guys, but like I've had these surgeries, and like the only opioids that I've taken was in the hospital. Outside the hospital, I did not take opioids.
Yeah, no, I had shoulder surgery.
Yeah, I can't take those, man.
Yeah, I don't like them. I had and they just give them to you just so readily.
Oh, they'll give you a tractor trailer full of them. You know, the first thing the VA asks you, are you in pain? No, I'm not in pain. I'm here because I have cancer, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a vasectomy a few years ago,
Yeah.
and I think they tried to give me like a 3 or 5 day like supply of opioids afterwards. I'm like,
Well,
no,
imagine that.
I'm good, man. I don't need it. Like, I'll be fine. Like, they're always just trying to just write you shit
Yeah,
every
Yeah.
time.
exactly.
It's
To
like,
get you
nah.
hooked.
Or
Yeah,
when I had
exactly.
shoulder surgery, same thing. I think they gave me like a 2 week or 30 day supply or something like. And I didn't even use it. I think I used it for the first few days, and then
Right.
I was like, nah,
Nah, not
nope.
for me.
Yeah, I don't like taking
Yeah,
pain medication. I
me
feel like I have
either.
a pretty high pain
I'd rather
tolerance.
take shatter, roll up shatter.
Oh yeah. Let's get the rig out.
Yeah.
And that's so much better for you, right? And it
Exa-
helps you sleep.
Well, man, just roll up some and stick it underneath your tongue.
Oh, and just hold it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fastest way to
Dude.
get to your system, I'd
Dude.
imagine.
You'll never know you had a surgery.
Oh, wow. Is that bitter?
Kinda.
Yeah, but you're like,
It's
whatever.
a good butter.
but it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, through your mouth, I mean, that's where digestion
For
begins.
sure.
It-
Man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It gets right into the bloodstream really quick.
it gets to the head quicker.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
why those sprays are nice. Like those sprays are for the first time I tried. It's a
Sprays.
very interesting change. Like the
Mhm.
CBD and the THC sprays, very
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many different ways to like use now or
Yeah,
to consume.
absolutely.
It's like
Man, back in the day, it was you rolled a joint, you either smoked a joint or you smoked a pipe. Now we have dabs, we have tinctures, we have edibles, we have brownies, we
you
have
have oils.
oils, tinctures,
Topicals.
topicals.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything, man.
it's so
Yeah, man, you have bombs,
a
you have
plethora.
keys,
Yeah,
sprays,
exactly.
drops.
All the good
exactly.
I
stuff.
mean, there's just so many ways to, I mean, you could
Yeah.
find a way.
Especially for
Right.
the people that don't want to smoke. 'Cause a lot of people, I just don't want to smoke it. I don't like
Well,
smoking
yeah.
it.
That's
That's what
cool.
you hear. Yeah, it's like go ahead and eat a brownie.
And that's totally fine, you know what I mean? Because smoking may not be ideal for everybody.
Exactly.
I think it's important to understand, though, that when you do, an edible is processed by the body differently than it is
Exactly.
smoking,
It's
right?
a completely different high.
It's a different
Right.
It's a
compound that
different-
gets,
yeah, it's
I mean,
different.
it's processed through the liver, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I like that, though. I like the edibles.
I do too.
Yeah. They put me on couch lock.
An
Do
edible
they?
does?
Yeah, man. It just I feel like I've built up a little bit of a tolerance to the edibles. Because I took a trip out to to LA and I just had quite a few edibles while I was out there, and I had some spray, just been kind of regularly using, but I mean I remember one time I was in Denver maybe like a year and a half ago now,
Right.
and I probably had. I don't know, it was probably only like 60 milligrams of edibles.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, it fucking put me to sleep for the whole day.
Really?
Man, we were, like, me and my brother, we were good for most of the, for the first half of the day. And then we were staying at my buddy's house. I got back to his house probably like 1 o'clock. And then once I got on that couch, I woke up the next day, man. I woke up at one point. I tried to stay awake. I could not keep
Wow.
my eyes open. It just had me
I haven't had an experience like that.
I've
Sleepy.
never had that problem.
Man, I like to take edibles before bed too, and I can really
Yeah,
sometimes I
can
feel
see
so
that.
well rested in the morning, like it's harder to wake up because I can't say, oh, I definitely had edibles last night.
Really?
Yeah, they just put me to sleep, man.
Wow. Well, each person's different.
Everybody's
true.
different.
Everybody's different. What affects you in one way may not affect me the same way.
And I think that's important for people to understand, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To-
exactly. Dab to you is not a dab to me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
and dosage and just find what works for you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and that's what always gets me, right? Because everybody is going to prejudge what their experience will be based off like maybe what they heard.
Exactly.
And oftentimes they heard some shit from not even anybody that they knew.
Exactly.
It's just this urban myth story.
Right.
Right,
Oh, I
right.
heard my friend Becky, she knows somebody that something happened. Or
Right.
it's like, okay, now, but what about you may have a totally different
Exactly.
experience.
Right. Oh gosh, that's too funny.
Yeah, yeah. So what's next, Monty? What do you see happening for the future? Like, where are we at? Because we're freshly passed, right, with medical. But from my understanding, I think they're trying to get on the ballot to repeal that even, right?
Well, I think
Well-
there's always going to be naysayers no matter what you do. So, I think we're looking at some naysayers. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to develop a cannabis market just like the other states have done.
Yeah.
I think the rules that they're setting before us, I think they're good rules. I think they're coming up with some good guidelines for us to go by. I just see positive results coming. I see our patients getting the product that they need to get. Every state that has enacted a medical marijuana law has seen an opiate death reduction by about 18 to 25%.
That's so
That's huge,
huge.
yep.
You know, that's
Yeah.
a big reduction, you know. And when when the ability to use an alternate method other than opiates exists, I think that's a positive step right there. I think we're moving in a good direction.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, you always have those naysayers out there for some
Always.
reason.
Oh
but
yeah, and
they're not going to get
I
any
really
traction.
I really see. Yeah, we've got. You know what? The genie's been let out of the bottle. You can't put it back in the bottle.
Yeah.
We've gone too far.
Right.
Yeah.
We've gone too far. It's
You know what
not gonna
scares me
happen.
though? Whenever I don't think he's still there. I don't follow politics probably maybe as close as I should. I feel like there's too many positive things to focus on. Like
Right.
you need to be aware. But when you have like lunatics like Jeff Sessions, fucking,
Right.
who had I don't even think he's still in the picture.
No,
right?
he's not.
But he was there for. But when somebody like that can make it to where they have a voice like that, and they're saying good people don't use
Right.
marijuana or whatever the fuck he said, like
Right.
that scares the hell out of
That
me.
is scary.
Well, there was something that I saw on a normal blog or a normal website that President Trump, Jeff Sessions said something anti-marijuana, and he goes, "That sounds like something my grandpa would say."
Oh,
So
really?
even the president thought he had some archaic
Views.
cannabis views,
Oh,
and I
really?
think everyone knows that he had some very archaic views on everything, not just cannabis. But
Yeah, it's
that was one of the
crazy.
things. But he's out of office. He's gone. I just see the federal government. I just seen a lot of relaxation. Again, the genie's been let out of the bottle in 1996.
Yep.
In 1996, that's when California enacted the medical marijuana.
Right.
Okay,
That was
here
the
we
first
are,
one in this
2019, and Missouri has enacted. It took 20 years, but here we are, the same point California was. So I just see in it, there's eight
Well,
or
actually, what's that? 23 years, right?
yeah, or 23 years,
22 years, I guess.
or 22 years.
Yeah,
But
still 20 plus.
still in 22 years, here we are, and it's just spreading. They can't put it back in the bottle.
Yeah.
They can't stop it. We're going to progress. I see a recreational market opening up eventually in the state of Missouri. I just hope it's in my lifetime.
I think it'll be
I think it's coming sooner than we think.
for sure.
I hope so.
Next couple years.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I'm really hoping by 2020 I mean, if there is like a tipping point from a numbers standpoint, I mean, we're past that. I feel like most states have some form of
Yeah.
marijuana regulation in
Right,
place,
right.
I mean, we have to like
Look how
just-
many legal states we have now.
Yeah.
You can go to Nevada. You can go to California. You can go to Alaska. You can
Washington,
pan for
Oregon.
gold and smoke a hooter,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Fish for salmon, smoke a joint,
Yeah.
It's sad that these states that aren't legalized can't see all the positive things that are coming out of
Right.
these states that are. I mean, you look at like I said, the money that's going to like education. and-
Millions and it's $1 billion
How would you
industry.
not want? How could you not want that?
We
right,
could-
exactly.
So in Missouri, right, a lot of the tax money is going to go to helping veterans.
Veterans, right.
Which is super
Exactly.
fucking cool.
That's huge.
But there's so many other people we could help, right? I mean, schools need
Well,
money,
yeah.
infrastructure for roads and different things. It's like, why are we not?
There's so many of these rural school districts around that are they're so small, and they just, the educational opportunities are a lot better if you live in Springfield or Kansas City or St. Louis than if you live in Hartville or,
The
a
little rural
smaller,
communities, yeah.
little rural school, Mark Twain, there's a lot of really small school districts around, and if we could, put computers, give them whatever to bring their education level. I mean, the more we educate, knowledge is power. The more knowledge a person has, the more power they have. So, I just like the cannabis industry. The more knowledge we get out there, the more power we have. The more positive things we can make happen. So, kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%, man. It's exciting to see what's going to come. We've come so far.
Absolutely. We've came so far in the time that
Yeah.
I've been around in my 58 years, almost 59 years.
Yeah. So, well, hey, man, good stuff, guys. I think we're right about an hour, so I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Let's wrap this up. I'm going to turn the floor over to you guys. Anything, socials, anything you want to plug or promo? If anybody did want to
man.
get a hold of you, if you wanted to put that information out there.
Man, if you want to get a hold of us, contact Ozark Quality Products at ozarksqualityproducts.com. Or you can reach me at InfusedEdibles.org. Just try our product, and give me a call, send me an email.
Right on.
You won't regret it. They're so delicious. I'm telling you, all day I was feeling so good. You can just catch me on my Instagram, J Coleman, Coleman _productions, for all your needs.
Right on.
All right, gentlemen. Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Signing
much.
out.
All right, everybody. Till next time.
Bye-bye.